Hello and welcome to another week of Monday with the Mayor. I'm Bradford Raths, and we have returned to Jasper with Terry Seitz.
Hello, Bradford. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So, chamber dinner. What do we got going on?
Chamber dinner was extraordinary, and in fact, it's really interesting this year, Bradford. Not only did the chamber have Governor Mike Pence here, who I thought did a really good effort, and I think has settled into his office somewhat from earlier in the administration. I was happy that he came for the chamber, had time with the governor prior to that as he attended a Southern Indiana Mayor's Roundtable at Huntingburg hosted by Mayor Spinner, and so spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours with him, talking from basically city executives to state executives. And we have a lot in common, and ultimately we know that we both work with the legislative side of things, and Indiana cities are advancing the discussion of what we call trust local, or it goes back to a term from the early 2000s called home rule. Ultimately, we have been very well served by our legislators from this area, Democrat, Republican, it does not matter. But we know that from a mayor's perspective, or from all mayors' perspective, I think I can speak pretty broadly. A lot of times legislators, particularly those in the Indianapolis area, they have an itch, and then they ask the whole state to scratch it by passing a law. Something that could have been discussed locally among backyard neighbors, or issues that would have been resolved between a county and a city, all of a sudden irritate a person who's a member of the Indiana General Assembly, and it becomes a state law, and these laws impact us greatly. So we talked to the governor about them, and again, I must laud our local representatives here who I haven't found them to play that game at all, but I certainly have talked to legislators around the circle, around the donut in Indianapolis, and they often do drive legislation that is really more or less met for their own district, and it becomes state law. So trust local. We believe as mayors, city council members, clerk treasurers here in cities like Jasper that you have such great access to us, and that what we do, while directly impacting you, we also listen to you. And we have a chance to shop with you and attend worship with you or sporting events, and you see us. And ultimately, ordinances, laws, codes, whatever, that pass locally are directly impacted by you one way or the other. So that's one thing that I wanted to share today. And that chamber dinner and the time with Governor Pence prior to that enabled us to express that as mayors to him. But I'm very happy for Nancy Eckerly of the chamber. Outgoing president Nancy Wilson is a friend of mine. Incoming president Jane Ballsmeyer is a friend of mine. And Nancy Eckerly, of course, executive director, has been a longtime friend. I've served in the chamber board, been a past president, been part of the Jasper Action Team. I'm very happy, not just for that event, but I think, as you know, that last week we're getting close to 30 ribbon cuttings this year of brand new business, entrepreneurs at work, or businesses that have had expansion. And that just tells a great story all by itself for the city of Jasper. And I'm very proud to be mayor of this community.
Yeah. Let's backtrack.
You going to talk about deer season?
No, I wasn't going to talk about deer season. I thought about it.
Okay, that's fine. Everybody else is. I don't know if if you got invited to deer camps yet or something like that. I encourage that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I haven't learned how to shoot a gun yet.
A deer camp has nothing to do with a weapon, or deer for that matter. But they're pretty good parties.
You want to expound then?
No, I'm just letting you know as a relatively newcomer to this area that they probably would enjoy that, and I'm going to pass it on to you, Bradford.
Well, I appreciate that.
That's the best advice I can give today.
All right. Let's go back to something you were talking about there for a second. The state representatives in our area being so open to the public. Kind of talk about how important you think that is to be accessible.
Elected officials are. I often said some of my best times are having coffee at Azura in the morning, where I may engage 4 or 5 people from outside City Hall, where here, it's kind of, I'm the catfish at the bottom of the dam, kind of getting whatever comes my way. There, people can just see me, and I love that. I don't mind phone calls. I love getting letters. We get some thank you letters. As mayor of the city of Jasper, truly, the ratio is off the charts, probably of one negative comment or concern that's shared, and they're not bad. I have dozens positive things. We've gotten thank you letters recently for some gas and water department actions by men who have gone beyond the call of duty, and I really appreciate that. Our legislators, I think, are the same way. We are at a different vein because they are, again, they're legislative. We as mayors are CEO level administrators. We're the executive role in government. But I know that Lloyd Arnold, Mark Messmer, Lyndall Hume, and Richard Young are 4 area representatives for Du Bois County and senators. They do understand, and regardless of party, there is a genuine concern, and we have a good relationship. We do let them know kind of what our platform is, as either from Jasper's perspective or at our Indiana Association of Cities and Towns perspective, and even among cities and towns members, we have different points of view. Ultimately, oddly enough, with other mayors, even though I have now been a mayor almost 2 years and have attended regular functions with other mayors around the state, I'm really not sure who's all Democrat, who's all Republican. I'll go back to my point of view that when it comes to being mayor, cats, dogs, streets, and sewers don't care about Democrat and Republican. It's just the way we have to run for office, and we acknowledge that the importance of the two-party aspect in America truly get. But when it comes down to trusting local and local governance, we literally that never comes up.
All right. Something that's not necessarily political now. I think both parties. Well, yeah, if you want to talk about it.
No, keep bringing that up. I keep giving you a chance, so go ahead.
But it's something that's a little less political. I think both parties can agree on more recycling. And with that, on Friday, we brought out Monster Recycling. Kind of talk about being able to recycle.
Well, the recycling challenge that we face in the city, and even Du Bois County Solid Waste, of which, as mayor of the largest city, I serve on their board. And there's so much to learn about that. The markets are challenging, and I talked to Paul Vogelrell Jr. It's one of the ribbon cuttings we did last week, and I wish him well at their location on Vine Street. And it's a different concept, but he's right. Some markets have virtually no money. He is truly, as much as anything, doing a service. But if it gives some expansion of things that allows people to recycle, or has an outlet for things rather than going into solid fill or landfills, or sadly in some cases off the side of the road, I wish him well, and I hope the private sector can actually make that work, which will even be better than the public sector. But either way, I think he's got good public response. And certainly, whether it be at minimum, newspapers, plastics or bottles, what are able to be taken, please do consider ways to do that. We have our recycling program. I might add, speaking of this, the city of Jasper for a number of years has published literally a printed city calendar. In 2014, we are not doing a printed city calendar. However, as key part of that calendar was a recycling calendar that listed the recycling weeks throughout the year. We are including that with the November utility statement. So if you're a utility customer in the city of the Jasper, be looking in your November billing statement for your 2014 city recycling calendar and other information about recycling and refuse pickup. That will be included. We will not be publishing a city calendar that you can hold in your hands, because of our new website has a very lively, active calendar, and we're going to save approximately $10,000 by not publishing that calendar. It's been a good service, it's been a good source, but ultimately we're going to move with what we hear more people today are doing. They're looking at that calendar regularly, but what's been critical is that recycling calendar, and that's going to be included in the November utility bill.
Well, with that money saved, I could probably just go to deer camp.
You probably could. And as I look at cameraman Jesse out there, I would highly encourage you to talk on the way back to the station about deer camp. Maybe he can connect you, because, given the northeast part of the county, I know he's got to know people at deer camp.
I'm sure Jesse does.
All
Well,
right.
Mayor, we always appreciate your
Thanks,
time.
Bradford.
This has been Monday with the Mayor. We'll have more news right after this.